GamePlan, an Android app brought to you by Zizzle Studios. Our group members are Brayden Martin, Shah, Cadotte, and Shantanu Mishra. The agenda for this presentation will first be Product Vision by Jay, then Lee will talk about the architecture, followed by all four members of the group talking about personas and user stories. Then Brayden will talk about the quality assurance plan, and Shantanu will talk about the GitLab project board. We will end off by talking about our next steps for this Android app. Product Vision. Our vision statement is to bring competitive athletes together, to have more games, and enable them to track their performance. Our product is an Android app for sports team management, with the key features being creating and joining leagues, creating and joining teams, searching for leagues and seeing all available teams within a league, seeing players on a team and accessing their information such as name, email, and phone number, scheduling games between teams, recording game scores for a team, and showing the historical performance through line charts, bar graphs, and team standings. Need and value. Our product has a large target market. Stats Canada estimates that about 27% of all Canadians regularly play sports. Other sports team management apps do exist, but they focus primarily on coaches and league organizers. Our product focuses on team players. Users can manage all their teams in one place and schedule and record scores of games with other teams. This app hosts an entire league instead of just one team. For stakeholders, we found 2 U of S students to help us create a perfect product. For technology requirements, we used the Android Studio IDE with Java and Google Firebase as the database. Our app is compatible with Android 5.0 and up, which covers more than 85% of the Android market. This enabled us to use advanced Android features while also releasing it to as many people as possible.
Our project follows 2 main architectural styles, one for the front end and one for the back end. The front end follows an event-based architecture due to the use of various action listeners that carry particular functionality when triggered. For example, listeners for clicks facilitate user interaction with our app, and listeners for database changes provide the user with up-to-date information. The back end of our project follows an object-oriented architecture through the use of various Java classes that encapsulate data and logic. This object-oriented approach allows us to specify various interfaces that can be used by our front end to easily interact with our back end. Here's a component diagram of our architecture. This diagram shows how the various components of our project interact. User interaction first begins at the user interface. This interface is in XML. Android activities written in Java and running on the user's Android JVM, then listen for user interactions like button clicks. When one of these actions is detected, depending on the nature of the action, the Android activity may call backend methods represented in our model, read from or write to our database, or request authentication services like sign the user in or log in the user out. In turn, the backend model may also require access to our database or authentication services. These database and authentication services are provided by Google via Firebase. The functionality of Firebase is access to either a database or authentication interface, which in turn requests data and functionality from Google servers over the internet.
We chose 4 personas to represent the 4 types of people we expect to use our app. We'll introduce the role, epic, and user stories for each. The acceptance criteria can be found in our project wiki. Chad is a competitive player who enjoys racket sports. He wants to track team standings and his wins and losses over time, both individually and for his teams. Chad represents a competitive player with lots of experience using technology. He wants a quality experience with a pleasant user interface and graphics. Epic, as a competitive player wanting to keep improving in all the sports I play, I want to see my performance, match data, historical statistics, and standings for all the teams and leagues so I can become the best in my sport. Chat has 3 user stories. Number 1. As a person wanting to keep track of stats and standings, I want to be able to input appropriate data after a game so that I can review it when needed. Number 2. As a competitive person, I want to see game statistics after the match so I can see how well my team played. And number 3. As a person wanting to find trends and areas to improve, I want to see the historical game data for all the games I've played against other teams.
Michelle Team Seeker represents a user who is looking to join a team. Michelle has prior sports experience playing soccer and is quite shy. Michelle also has limited technical experience and is looking for an easy-to-use and simple app. Michelle has the epic. As Michelle Team Seeker, I want to find and join sports teams so I can meet new people and relive my glory days as a soccer player. Michelle has the user stories. As Michelle Team Seeker, I want to see all available sports teams for a particular sport that I am eligible to join, so I can easily find and learn about new teams. As Michelle Team Seeker, I want to be able to see information about the leagues and teams that I could join, so I can get a better idea of whether or not a particular team will be a good fit for me. As Michelle Team Seeker, I want to join a sports team easily by sending a request or receiving an invitation to or from a team or league administrator, so I can easily join teams without having to deal with too many people.
Jim Harper, a third-year computer science student at UFS. He's new to Saskatchewan, so he doesn't have a lot of friends. He's very much interested in playing different kind of sports, and to practice his leadership skills, he wants to be a team owner. He wants to create and manage teams and also analyze their performance so that his team can be the strongest in the league. Being a team owner, he should be able to check the team info and the game stats. Also, he should be able to manage the member list over his team.
Persona for Robert Young. Robert Young has been working data entry for 6 years. He's become frustrated with the routine of daily life and arguments with his wife. He's interested in creating a kids' soccer league. Robert has a decent grasp on how to use computers. Role: Robert Young is a league owner. Epic: as Robert Young, I want to manage a kids' soccer league so that my son and the kids in my community can engage in physical activity and team sports. User stories: as Robert Young, I would like to be able to create a new sports league. As Robert Young, I want to be able to view and manage teams in my league.
Here are some screenshots of our app. The left one shows the home page, which shows the user's wins, ties, and losses. It also shows the teams that they're on. The middle screenshot shows the leagues page, which shows all leagues created throughout the world. The last screen shows the team's games page. Along with displaying upcoming and previous games, it also shows a line chart for the win-loss ratio over time. Here are some more screenshots. A demo of some key features is available in our demo video.
Quality Assurance Plan. Our quality objective is that users will be able to visit every page and use any interaction element without the application crashing. Users are able to understand how to use the application once launched without the assistance of external resources. Users are able to set up and run the application with only the use of instructions inside of the README file. Testing. For each of the classes that were made, we set up unit testing for each of the methods that would be used in the application. Unit testing provided us with a solid foundation, knowing that these methods are working as expected, so when moving up to higher level code, we could trust the functions that were being used. For testing the application at the interface level, we used manual testing, making sure to thoroughly test each feature being added ourselves before having the other team members try it as well. Any bugs found in these 2 methods were either worked out by the developer or recorded on the issue board for someone else working in the area to fix. Inspection. Code inspection and review occur after a developer has finished their feature branch and requests a merge into the develop branch. Another developer will check over the changes made and run the code on the branch to check that new bugs will not be introduced into the develop branch. If the reviewer decides that this branch is incomplete or doesn't meet the standards we are working at, then feedback for what needs to be changed will be given and the request will be denied. Otherwise, if everything looks good, the branch will be merged. Acceptance test. Before each major release, we had our stakeholders and user group to confirm that we have met or exceeded the expectations set for the features added by having them test the apps themselves.
We have used Kanban as a project board. Instead of using prescribed categories, we have improvised and modified them based upon our project needs. We have 5 board columns. First, open, issue related to milestone grading and the issues which are not explicitly classified as backend or frontend. Second, backend, issues related to backend functionality such as Firebase. Third, frontend, issues related to graphical appearance of the applications which are related to graphs and the menus. Fourth, doing, issues from open, backend or frontend which are assigned and work is in progress. Fifth, close, issues whose progress is completed or discontinued as feature has been dropped or changed. Next is the future steps. To enhance our user base, we are planning to collaborate with UFS Secure, Campus Track, and develop a cross-platform application for our iOS users. We are planning to improve our user interface and make it more user-friendly by upgrading the color and font schema, and also we are trying to add more shortcut buttons over the home screen. Our plan is to improve in-app communication by adding features such as notification, in-app chat, and invitations.
We published the GamePlan app on the Google Play Store so the marketers can easily install it and other people can use it too.